Hey everybody. Sorry, I'm just getting going. Didn't mean to be quiet. Trying out a new setup, so hopefully if anyone joins up, I'll be able to see you. Right now it says I don't have any viewers, so I'm okay just hanging out for a minute. So this seem to have messed something up, guys. Let's get that out of there. Hey, I got a viewer there. Can you say hello in the chat if you are active? And just, I want to see if something's working. I'm trying to get this going with my new OBS on my new computer. It's the first live stream, so sorry if I'm a little bit off right now. Not quite talking. Nope, nothing. Oh. Okay, so let's leave that. Hello? Darn it, you left. I don't know if this is working. This is pretty cool. Got it. So that's right here. All right, guys. Yeah, if you catch this on the replay, sorry everybody. You know, I'm just kind of hanging out by myself right now. It looks like not a lot of people have joined up, so I'll just kind of start talking about the market. We'll see if anybody gets here. I was hoping I'd at least have a few viewers come check me out. Usually a few people come. Let me go ahead and let me click on this. We'll pause this. We'll share it. I'll drop it in my Telegram group. Not that there's very many people there. Maybe I just didn't do enough notification I was going to do this. Huh? I guess I don't really know for sure, right? Let's go check out some stuff on the channel. Is somebody talking to me? As you all know, I did do an update on the Fair Moon token swap that's coming. I had a discussion with somebody in the comments if you want to check it out. He thinks the team was maybe part of the scam. I told him I don't know if the team was part of the scam. And I just want to make sure that we all know that you're going to have a chance to swap your Fair Moon tokens if you have them for a new token at some time in the future. And I'll do another update on that. And for sure, we'll be able to get at least some money back. I imagine a lot of people are going to dump the tokens. And I really hope a few people get here and say hello. Oh, hey, what's going on? Link for Telegram. Sure, I can drop that in the chat. Yeah, I gotta click over here. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's my Telegram. There's not very much of many of us in there right now, but I try to check in at least once or twice or 3 times a day. If not more often, and I have a few other people, one admin in there that's pretty active. So, you know, we're just a way for you to ask me questions, check up on what I'm doing. I'm going to be doing a lot of updates on kind of the stuff I'm into right now. So, thanks for joining up there, Yoshi. Oh, you left the live stream, though. That is interesting. All right, guys. I'm just kind of hanging out for a little bit longer, seeing if anybody comes in here, see if anybody wants to hang out for a little bit and talk and chat. It's kind of odd. I've had a few people show up the last few weeks, but nobody today. Oh, I've got somebody who just joined back into the live stream. Welcome, welcome. I'm going to be getting into going over my farms and stuff pretty soon here. It's just I was kind of hoping a few more people would be here to actually see this, but I guess I can get into it. Just a quick little recap of the market. Bitcoin's not really doing very much. You know, it's been pretty stable around this $36,000 range. I don't really like that range. I think everybody was talking about a hope that it would get up to 42,000 to show us that it was going to head back up. But if it stays around 36 or 38, then that average that was at 200, that was at 42,000 will start to come down. And if it can just stay here, eventually once it crosses that moving average, we'll have a chance to see it jump back up and maybe go on a bull run. So this could be a while where we're just sitting here around 36,000, going up to 38, coming back down to maybe 35, and I'd be okay with that. If we dip down out of the 35 and start to test the lower 30s, then we're in trouble of dipping back down into the 20s. And if it starts dipping to the 20s, from what I've heard from some other analysts, we're looking at like 24,000, 20,000 being levels of support. It's really hard to tell because we kind of rocketed through 20,000 when we hit it last time. Well, I'm hoping we can hold up in these 30s. We have the Bitcoin conference going on right now. It doesn't really seem to be helping it that much. And one of the things that you worry about in the past, Bitcoin ran up during the conferences and then plummeted afterwards. So it's just something that we should all be kind of aware of. If you're in profit in some projects, you might want to take a little bit of profit out, maybe move some stuff into stable coins. You'll have to make that decision on your own. I know I've started to move a little bit more of my stuff into stable coins, but then I am putting them into farms, and I'm going to be showing you a very interesting stable coin farm today on the Polygon network, a little bit more into the middle of the stream when I move over into the Polygon. I'm going to start by doing some updates on some of the projects I've been covering on the Binance Smart Chain. And the Binance Smart Chain obviously has had some issues lately with it getting attacked by hackers, mostly using flash loans or just whales using manipulation loans. I know Bunny got hit, AutoShark that I covered got hit, I think something called Bog Finance got hit, and there's probably a few others that I'm forgetting about. And unfortunately, the flash loan ability is just part of the problem. Really, the problem is the ability of the Ethereum chain to allow people to do those transactions where they can do everything in one transaction and set up a bot that basically can just manipulate the price and the price feeds and can take advantage of any of those tokens that are doing the Bunny contract. So the Bunny contract basically has a little thing that says, you know, every time we connect so much fees, we go ahead and mint more of our token. And so you can trick the system into minting a whole bunch of tokens, and at the same time, because you have a massive amount of money, put it into the pool, and then you get all of those tokens, and then you sell all of those tokens. And in one transaction, somehow you can trick the system into thinking that you deposited a ton of money into a pool, causing them to get a whole bunch of fees, causing them to mint a whole bunch of tokens, giving them to you, letting you then sell almost all of those tokens. And it's just kind of crazy. And you saw Bunny just get destroyed in price. You saw AutoShark get destroyed in price. I'm sure Bog had a tough time. And I don't know why. I feel like I'm missing one other big one. Yeah, for sure. I'm glad you joined the Telegram group. You know, it's somewhere where if you ever want to ask me a question, you can put it in there. I'll get back to you eventually. And if you guys have projects or farms you want me to look at and review, I am glad to look at stuff that the community shows me. I won't necessarily do a video on it. I'll give you my opinion on it. But I have to like something before I'm going to spend the time to do a video on it. And I have to feel kind of safe. I feel kind of bad that I've shown a couple projects on my channel recently that turned out to not really be very safe. We had the Fair Moon stuff where it ended up getting rug pulled by the War of Rugs people. The War of Rugs token launched Ethereum, and that ETH rug token that seemed interesting, they rug pulled that one. And then I showed everyone, hey, go get this free egg from this Pokemon farm because if it ends up being cool, it might be valuable. And then I covered that one a little bit more because the developer talked to me. And then I finally started pushing back against the developer in the chat, and he banned me. So now I can't even be in the chat. And it looks like his site's been totally abandoned. His Twitter's not doing anything. I think the Telegram group's gone. And while the site is still up and allowing people to interact with a contract, he is basically just stealing 0.005 BNB from anybody that stumbles into that Pokemon site. I did pull all those videos off the channel, and I feel bad about that because I was just trying to tell people, hey, go claim a free airdrop and watch the project to see if it becomes cool. And I feel like at least a few people went ahead and invested some money into the project. I didn't. I only basically got the free eggs, and I did pay a couple 0.005 BNB fees in order to interact with the contract. But once I noticed that fee was higher than it should be, I kind of stopped, and I warned people, hey, you shouldn't be interacting with this. And that's the kind of stuff I hopefully will let you guys know in there. So nanocaps on BSC, I'm kind of I need to see if I want to cover those and look into them a little bit. Okay, so I covered the drip token once, and basically the problem that I see with the drip token, and I can bring that one up really quick since you asked about it before we get into some of the other stuff, is that it's just been downtrending in price. Now, at the same time, it hasn't completely fallen apart, and it hasn't done anything bad. As you can see, I do have a little bit of money in here from my very first deposit. My video wasn't very popular, so I didn't build a team. Only one person joined off of my link, which is why I ended up really just not doing very much with this. Now, I didn't pull my money out, and I've just been letting it rehydrate here. And so eventually maybe I'll be able to earn my money back, because with any of these farms, I got in when it was about $10 for a token, and now I think it's around $4 for a token. So you have a chance at making your money back, even though I lost about half of my deposit. Now, I only put a tiny bit of money in here. Do you have any info on them, Dario, that might be interesting or that I should check out? Because I haven't really been seeing them do any updates or anything cool or adding anything to their project. Now, their initial project was an interesting idea because they have this reservoir that's supposed to help support the price. And then they have this idea of building your team and then you guys working together and doing some fun things like that. But I haven't seen enough new stuff from them. It was an interesting idea, but they didn't build it out. They haven't got the deposits that they needed to really grow. And so at this point, I'm still waiting to see if the team does anything cool. If I see any big updates on them, since I've covered them once before, I will cover it again, especially because I do have a little bit of money in here. But unfortunately, it's one of those ones I put a little bit of money in, and I was watching it, and the token just went down, 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 down. I didn't see them trying to do anything else, so I didn't decide to put any more into it. Hey, what's going on, Aaron? Good to see you. Congratulations. I believe you were one of the ones that won one of my packs on the last giveaway. So just going back now, I'm going to cover some of the farms that I'm invested in just to let you guys know where my money is at. Because I don't put money into everything that I cover, but I do put some money into some of the things. So my main farm that I use to earn most of my money is the Cub Finance farm. This is really because I'm a Hive user and a Steam user, and I know the Leo Finance team. I hang out with them on their Monday AMAs, and I talk with the guys. Most of them I talk in chat groups with, and I've been able to get to know them. And I know these guys, to me, they're not going to rug pull me. Now, their farm at the same time, the token value has been dropping like crazy, but if you're just farming the token and selling it and not buying the token, then you still have been making money the whole time Cub has been around. If you decided to buy the token now, it's at its pretty much lowest price ever of 63 cents. But we'd have to know if they're going to be able to turn this around and start to bring more people into their site and go ahead and get some, extra money flowing into here. Because as you can see, their TVL is pretty low at $9 million. Their market cap is extremely low at $2 million. And if you look at their farms, they're not really one of those sites that went to do a lot of farms. And that's because they originally copied the Goose Finance setup. But what they saw and they've seen with the Goose Finance site is that the setup of the deposit fees, the one-time deposit fees, it just doesn't work. You don't earn enough money to burn enough tokens, and so you don't end up burning enough of your tokens. The emissions get too high, too many tokens get into the marketplace, and you're just not able to burn enough of the tokens on a consistent basis to keep people interested in actually holding your token. So because the Leo Finance guys are builders and they're not someone to just sit around and let their project die, they did go ahead and make the plan to switch their platform into something that's more like Auto Farm. And so they just launched their first kingdoms. These work like the Auto Farm mechanism where you can put your money in and you're going to get them auto farming these on other sites. They're going to give you their token on top of it, but they're going to charge one of the lowest management fees that I've seen on Binance Smart Chain. So they're only charging 0.9%. So just if you wanted to compare this, if you're somebody that likes the Cake token, oh yeah, and if you're into Splinterlands, Aaron's got a good point. This is the one of the places where you can go ahead and put, I'll cover it really quick, this dark energy crystal farm. If you put your money into here, and I have a decent amount in here, it's going to count towards the SPS token airdrop for getting governance tokens for the Splinterlands game. So not only are you farming Cub if you're in this pool, you're also going to be farming SPS tokens for the whole year while they're releasing the SPS token. And everything that I understand is this farm won't be going anywhere. Now, most of their farms are going to be switching over to kingdoms, and I wanted to just show you something that's very interesting for anybody that really likes Cake, and I'm going to drop a whole video that either today or tomorrow that explains this. But you're getting the highest growth of your Cake here on this site that I've seen anywhere. So the farm APY on just Cake is 127.64%. So your Cake's going to be growing at 127.64. Now I want to show you over here on Pancake Swap. If you go to their pool and you look at their auto Cake pool, it's only 123%. So they're 4% lower. The reason why their auto Cake pool is smaller than the auto Cake pool over on Cub is because they're taking a bigger management fee than the 0.09% fee. And also, they have a withdrawal fee if you put your money in there and you want to get it out within the first 3 days. Now, that doesn't really matter so much for your initial deposit, but you know, it's just something that you don't have to deal with over here on the Cub Finance pool, as they don't have any of those lockups currently on their contracts. So it's something to look at if you have a stack of Pancake and you are growing it over here on Cub. I mean, in the syrup pool right here, you could think about coming over to the Cub Finance pool. You'll earn more Cake at a higher percentage, and you'll earn a little bit of the Cub token. You'll have to decide what you want to do with that Cub token. If you believe in the project a little bit, and you think as they build out their kingdoms with this low fee, the Cub token might go up in value. Plus, these fees now give them a much more buyback and burn of Cub, because they're actually taking the entire management fee. None of it's going to the team, and they're going to burn Cub with it. So really, this team is trying to find a way to get enough burn pressure on their token to go ahead and give it some value. One of the other things they plan to do is they're going to take the... So since these pools have such a high percentage for the Cake thing, they're giving a lower amount of money for the Cub rewards. So they're going to be able to change it now so that these farms here get even bigger multipliers. So they're going to try to put more of their Cub tokens into the hands of the people that want to go ahead and hold the Cub token in one way or another, either by putting it into the liquidity pools or by putting it into their den. Some of the other future plans they have is to add the ellipsis staking model to this platform, where if you stake the token from a longer amount of time into the dens, you'll get a huge multiplier, and if you pull them out early, you'll pay a penalty. And that's the way the multipliers get so big for the people who are willing to hold the token for a long amount of time. And then I'm going to give you guys something that I found out in the last AMA, and this is going to be happening in the future, and we don't know exactly when, but they are going to be making Cub Finance on the Polygon network. But when they do that, they're not going to relaunch it with like Cub Polygon or a brand new Cub token over there. They're instead going to do an airdrop of a token to Cub holders. So all of us who are actually holding a decent amount of Cub, even in these pools or in the dens or in your wallets, you're going to get an airdrop token that you can claim on the Polygon network that you'll then be able to either sell or stake into their farm that they're going to build on the Polygon network. Then on that farm, they're not actually going to be setting it up so that they can do a mission of tokens. They're just going to be setting that site up with kind of a new idea that's been floated around, and I'm going to show you one other site that's going to do it, where they just go, look, here are our tokens. These tokens are the only tokens that we're going to issue in the airdrop. You can go ahead and stake these tokens into a pool, and then you will get paid out from the profit share of the auto compounding farms that we build and people use on Polygon. So basically, you can come to their site and you can put some of your funds into their Polygon site, and there will be a small management fee like they did here on Kingdoms. They'll go out and do the different auto compounding the way that they're doing here, and then they'll take the fees that they earn from there, and instead of burning a token, they'll just pay it out to the people who have the token. So it's a different idea of a way towards running these farms. Instead of making a token that you issue at an infinite amount, you're going to issue just a certain amount at the beginning. They're going to airdrop it out to the cub holders, and it's going to be up to the cub holders if they want to hold it. And then if they want to move funds over to Matic, they can basically say, look, I have this farm and it's auto compounding all my tokens over on Matic, and the fees that are being charged are actually getting paid back to me because I have a big stake of this token that got airdropped to me. So it's going to be a pretty rewarding thing for the Cub token. And take everything I said with just a little grain of salt, because this is just starting. The team is still planning it out, and they haven't published anything officially. But they talked about it in their last live stream. It can be found on YouTube, and this was the hints that they gave us. So that was kind of pretty exciting to see that they're working. One of the other things they did launch is their Evo Bridge, which I talked about. And this is a way for people to get money from the ERC20 over to the Binance Smart Chain. It is because it uses their BEP20 token, and they do have smaller farms on each side. The most that you can do at one time is $10,000, but it is meant for users. One of the things they are targeting are a lot of the Hive users, because that's where they come from. And then they're going to be branching out and trying to do some big advertisements in the future to actually pull more users from the Binance Smart Chain and the Polygon site once they get that one going. One of the big things they plan to do is really push that they have the highest APR on Cake right now, because if you look at something that's kind of crazy, so after Bunny got hacked, they call themselves the #1 Cake lovers pool, right? But if you grow your Cake over here, they're actually only paying you 89%, while over on over on Cub Finance, they're paying you 127%. And it's because they have like a 30% management fee on Bunny that they paid to the Bunny holders. So the only way that's good for you is if you're a Cake holder and a Bunny holder. And if you were a Bunny holder, because they got hacked, well, you're dealing with trying to get your money back. So it's just something to look at if you're somebody who's a fan of the Pancake Swap. If you're holding some Pancake tokens and you want to multiply them quicker, the Cub Finance Kingdom is a pretty good way to do that now, because they do have one of the highest percentages I've ever seen for growing your Cake. If anybody knows somebody that's got a higher than a 127 APR on your Cake, let me know. I'd like to see it, but I haven't seen one that's doing it, and I don't know one that's doing it that I trust. And this is the one platform I probably trust more than anyone else not to actually rug pull me. Now we're going to go into talking a little bit about Panther Swap. So Panther Swap had the debacle with AutoShark. AutoShark was a copy of Bunny. They got exploited the same way, and they were their first IFO, and so their token pretty much fell apart. Now, when I introduced Panther Swap to people, I tried to tell you, hey, look, they're launching their own liquidity pools. They're having 0 deposit fees to get into their liquidity pools to farm their token. If you have some money sitting around over here that you want to risk putting into a liquidity pool on a new site to farm a new token, this might be a good time to do it. And I still stand by that statement, because if you put money into any of their normal farms to farm their token and were just farming it and selling it, you did fine. Now, if you bought the Panther token, which is the most dangerous thing to do, is to actually buy the new token that is issued. It's also the most rewarding if you're correct, but it's also the most dangerous, as most of the time they just go down. Well, then you might have got burned. So this is something that you'll probably need to learn when you're getting into any of these yield farming sites. If you buy their token when it first comes out, you have to be very nimble with it and watch the price of it. You can't just sit around and leave it in the farm and check it back a week later, because there's a good chance the token is going to go up a tiny bit and then down very fast, unless the team is able to do a lot of stuff and the team is able to make no mistakes. And Panther Swap made only one big mistake, and that was that they trusted the AutoShark team to be their first IFO and did not push them hard enough to make sure they were protected from flash loan attacks. And then their first IFO got a flash loan attacked. But let's talk about the fact that the Panther Swap team, they haven't run away. Even though their token price is down quite a bit, they're continue to build. And if they continue to build and build and build and add to their site the way that Pancake Swap did, they do have that chance of becoming a major player on the Binance Smart Chain. So this token is now down at 31 cents. Oh, this tweet here I was showing you is that they had promised that their Panther BNB liquidity was going to be locked. And so they did lock up about $6 million in Panther BNB into the liquidity pool so that they can't rug pull it. So it's very good to see that they finally came through and did that. It was always on their roadmap to do this a little bit after they come out, and that was a little bit scary because we saw with the Fairmoon guys, they said they were going to lock it, didn't lock it, rug pulled it. Well, Panther Swap actually did go ahead and lock it, and I'll go ahead and drop this tweet here if anybody wants to dig into that and look into it. But it is nice to see them come through with that. Now, if we go ahead and look at the Panther Swap token, we can see it's down at 31 cents, which is pretty low. I decided to go ahead and pick some of these up at 35 cents and start staking them because it was so easy to buy some and take a few dollars and go into their Panther BUSD farm, which is paying out still at 600%. So I had a feeling like I could go ahead and put some money in here and have a good chance at making it back because the team is starting to build. They're starting to come through with some of their promises. So I did take a small amount of my money and put it into this farm, but I actually moved it over to the AutoShark farm, which we'll get to in a minute because they went ahead and relaunched this morning. And so I'm going to be showing you their page and their plans, and we'll be discussing how that is going to be relaunched if you're someone that's in that. One of the things that they did launch over here that is exciting to see is they got their first 2 jungles up. So this gives you some more use of the Panther token. This is where they're taking some of the fees because they are their own AMA. They are not using the, well, they have their own liquidity pools. They are not using the Pancake Swap liquidity pools like almost all the farms on BSC does. They have their own pools, and so since they have their own pools, they get to charge those fees that happen in just regular trading, and they get to keep them as opposed to Pancake Swap getting to keep them. And so now they finally set up that you can stake your Panther here, and they're going to be taking the money that they earn that gets traded on their site and paying it out to you in either BSUD or WBNB. So it's pretty cool now that you can stake your Panther tokens and you can get back either BNB or BUSD at pretty high percentages. This is 299 and this is 226. Now you do run the risk of the Panther token dropping in price, and it has been on a downtrend. I'm not even going to lie. But now that we're seeing more projects open up and more places for this token to be able to be staked, hopefully we're going to see this token start to stabilize in price and maybe even be bought. I don't know if it's going to happen, but it's one I went ahead and took a little bit of a risk on. So one of the other announcements that happened to them is that the Beefy Finance project went ahead and listed vaults for their main 2 pools. So you can now invest your tokens for these pools either here on their site, where you would have to manually clean them. You could go to the Beefy Finance site and put them in over there, and then they would be auto-claimed. Or you can go back to their original IFO that was supposed to be their Pancake Bunny for their site. The way Pancake Bunny helped the cake token so much, they had AutoShark coming out, and they were supposed to help the Panther token by becoming the AMM strictly for the pools that are on Panther Swap. And then if you don't know, they got hacked, they got flash loan attacked, their token went down to being worth nothing, and it's been a huge mess, and we've been waiting for them to go ahead and relaunch and figure out what they were going to do. So they have relaunched. They do have an explanation of how they're doing this. So the first thing that they did was they opened up Panther BUSD and Panther BNB vaults, where for a little bit of time, to thank the Panther team for the support of the hack, they are going to be doing auto compounding for people with no fees. So there's no deposit fees, there's no withdrawal fees, and there is no management fees of these pools. So I went ahead and put my little bit of Panther BUSD in here. So I do have a tiny bit in here. That's only like about $750 or something like that. And I'm just going to go ahead and earn this 1% a day. There are no fees on it. And as you can see, so far they've been able to get about a little bit over $1.3 million deposited back into them. It'll be interesting over the next couple days to see if this number can grow, because it'll let you know if the community is going to come back to them. Now, in the next few days, they're going to have the new token, the JAWS and the BNB farms set up on Panther Swap, and then they're going to start to give us the JAWS tokens and the JAWS liquidity pool to refund us for those of us that were holding either the Shark token or Shark liquidity pool. So those things are all going to happen here pretty soon in stage 1. When you get your new tokens, you can go ahead and go dump the JAWS token if you're no longer a fan of the Auto Shark team and you don't believe in them. The same thing with your liquidity, you can try to pull it out. Now, you're going to have to be paying attention to get the most for your money, because you're not going to be the only person that has decided to run away and leave this project alone. There's a lot of people that are probably going to leave and just not be a fan of this one. There's not a lot I could do about that, so we'll just have to see what can happen. That's going to be it for the... I didn't mean to have this one sitting here, so I'll close that out. For my update on kind of the projects that I'm currently in on BSC, these are the two main farms that I'm playing around with, is the Panther Swap and the Cub Swap farms. I am using the Venus protocol to stake my BNB. We could take a quick look at that, because one of the things that's kind of interesting about the Venus protocol is checking out this site is sometimes a good idea, just to know where the money is at, because when BNB got up to 12% paying out for it being staked, because a whole bunch of people borrowed BNB to the point that they're now paying 10%. So when this happens, when these things shoot up right here, that means that the borrow demand on the token gets huge. When the borrow demand on the token gets huge, that means there's a lot of people that are betting that BNB is going to go up in value. So they want to borrow out the token, expecting it to go up in value, or have it go down in value. It's going to be one or the other. I'm trying to think if they're borrowing it. If they're borrowing it to sell it, then they think it's going to be going down. If they're borrowing it because they want to hold it or use it, then it's going to be going up. But I'll have to double check this, because I don't want to give you bad information. But I know you can use the interest rates to pay attention to what price people will go on. I know I was borrowing some DOT, and they were actually paying me to borrow DOT. And then the demand of people who wanted to borrow DOT went crazy. And so now there's a huge interest rate on DOT. On the flip side, you can get paid to borrow all of these ones, which is kind of just an interesting thing. And we're going to be looking at that over on the Matic chain as well. So I know I only got a few of you left. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Is there anything you want me to look at on BSC before I move over to Polygon? Let me know. Oh, yeah, I need that. Just was holding on for a sec to see if anybody threw anything in the chat. Okay, so the first thing, like I showed the other day in the in my intro to Polygon video, I showed you guys this is the bridge I used to get money from BSC over to Polygon. So I'm actually going to be doing that to move some USDC over to the Polygon network, so that I can get into a pretty interesting farm that's over there on the Iron Finance protocol. So this will be kind of a live example of how someone in the US has to do this. So I've got some money over here on my Binance US account. I moved some Litecoin into here. And so I'm going to be moving this Litecoin out into my Binance chain wallet. And then I'm going to be moving it onto the Binance Smart Chain. And then I'm going to be trading that out for USDC to move over the Evo Bridge. And it's really annoying that we have to do things this way, but it's one of the cheapest ways to actually get money onto the network. You can do bridges from Ethereum to Matic, but then you have to pay the Ethereum fees. And that is one way you can go, but I'm just going to show you how I get money over onto there. So basically... Yeah. Let me go ahead and check this. I got my new computer, so I have to remember to have this up here. So basically, I'm going to get my address. Oops, I need to copy this one. my BEP2 address for my Binance Chain wallet for my Litecoin. And then I'm going to go here to my Litecoin and I'm going to do a withdrawal on the BEP2 address. Then you're going to put your address in right here. And then you don't need a memo when you're going to your own wallet. That is more if you're going to some kind of exchange on this one. I'm going to do max and I'm going to submit. Now I need to put my authenticator code. Most of you should be using Google Authenticator or one of the other authenticator options with all of your major accounts, because it'll protect you a lot from getting hacked. Even if somebody gets a hold of your email when they go to move your funds, unless they were able to access this, they're not going to be able to do it. All right. Now I have to go ahead and load my email. I'll do this off screen. I'll confirm the withdrawal. All right, as you see, withdrawal has been confirmed. So that's a little example of how you can withdraw from Binance US. I've had some people say that they've had some problems with doing this, and I don't know why. The only thing that you have to do to make it work the way I just did, and this is going to take a little while, is go and do make sure you whitelist your address, and then you'll be able to do that. So now we're just going to be hanging out here for a minute until this Litecoin hits over here, and then we're going to be doing a quick trade on the Pancake Swap. So while I'm waiting for that stuff to come through, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys a couple things on the Polygon network, and then we'll actually go through and do an example of how to use the Evo Bridge to move money from BSC over to the Polygon network. So the first project I covered in my other video is here, the Polypixels site. This is kind of just fun, but it's somewhere where you can come and you can check out. You can see my face here. I have a pixel, a couple different projects, bought a few pixels, and it's been growing. So hopefully this thing will get all the way filled out, and all it really is a fun little place to do some advertisement for your either YouTube channel, your project, and if you're a Polygon project, you get a 10% discount. If you're a project on any other chain or somebody on YouTube or something like that, then you have to pay full price. And basically the idea here is you can click on one of these and it will pop you to the site of the program. This is actually a Hive game. So this one is just kind of something that's a little fun, but I'm going to close that out. So the first farm that I got into, and I got into this one because a friend showed it to me, is Polydragon. So Polydragon does aim to be an all-in-one kind of pancake swap of Polygon. Now, I have to admit, something I didn't know when I got into this is there already is some sites that are kind of claiming that crown, and because Matic is a copy of the Ethereum network, you have to compete with the big boys, the Aves, the Curve Finance. Obviously, there's QuickSwap over here, which is one of the big dexes here, but they do have it planned in their documents to try to go ahead and be a full-on site for launching tokens, to be a AMM, so that you can go ahead and do basically the kingdoms and things like that, where you can stake your tokens here and they'll put them into some of the other sites for you. And it's all out in their roadmap. I didn't really want to do a full review of them today, but I will be coming back and doing one pretty soon because I am invested in the Matic Fire Pool here. I'm earning this 1300% APY, and unlike most projects, this token price has gone up since I got into it. I didn't put enough money in here to risk, like, really at this point worrying about taking profits, but I got in at about $1.50 or a little bit cheaper for 1 billion tokens, and now it's at $2 for 1 billion tokens. It is a little bit of a meme token, the Fire token, because they issued some quadrillion amount of tokens, but what they're doing, the SafeMoon kind of thing, where they issued all of the tokens. All of the tokens are either in the contracts for farming out of these initial pools, or they are in the wild in the hands of people, or they are in a giant burn address, because they have that 10% reflect thing where 5% goes to liquidity and 5% goes to the holders, and they put a whole bunch in a burn address. So basically every single transaction on the network is going to burn tokens into that burn address. So that burn address is going to grow and grow and grow, and then theoretically the supply will dwindle very, very quick in the beginning when all of us are moving around billions of tokens, and then eventually the burn will start to get slower as the token goes up in value in theory. And that's the whole idea of a reflect token. The problem most reflect tokens have is that they don't get moved around. So to see a farm using them hopefully means that people will be moving the tokens around. One of the unique things they did, though, is they were able to remove the 10% fee for people who want to go ahead and add their tokens to a liquidity pool. So that's pretty cool, because it's really a bummer sometimes if you're in something like Panther Swap, which used to have that 5% fee. They did actually lower theirs to 2%, but when you go to add liquidity, you match it up and then you notice you still have a few dollars left, and it's because you lost some of your tokens when you were putting them into the LP, and you're like, man, that's lame, because all I'm doing is investing my tokens into the liquidity pool and you're still taking a fee from me. Well, on Polygon, they're not doing that. They were able to code their tokens so that if you are adding liquidity, they go ahead and negate the 10% fee, and you're able to just put all of your tokens into the liquidity pool. This is maybe a reason why people are going ahead and putting money into the liquidity pool. This is a micro project on Polygon, in my opinion. Somebody was asking kind of for some micro projects over on BSC. I think Cub Finance kind of is, and it fits that because these are both 2 million market cap projects. As you can see, here's their quadrillion tokens that they issued, and then here's their amount that have been burned by the burn address. So this is their circulating supply. And this is the reward. You want to see a lot of tokens being issued per block? How about that? What is that? 60 million. 60 million tokens issued per block. So you can be a trillionaire if you want to hold these tokens. They almost have nothing locked in liquidity. So you'll have to see if you wanted to get into a project when it's very young and very small. Let's go ahead and check my wallet here. Okay, my Litecoin is here, so we'll go ahead and get into moving some money over into Polygon. So first, I have to get a token that can be moved. So the Evo Bridge can only move these 3 tokens. So you can get their token, Ethereum, or USDC. Now, because I'm looking to put some money into a stablecoin farm, I'm going to be getting USDC, and then I'm going to be moving it over with the bridge. But these are the current ones that you could move over. USDC is also theoretically the easiest one to move over, and then you can buy some Matic if you need some Matic for gas or for anything else, or if you want to get into some of the Matic pools. And I might be leaving a small amount of money to put into a couple other pools, but a bulk of the money I'm going to be moving over, I'm going to put into a pretty interesting looking stable farm. So let's go ahead and go over here. I need to swap my Litecoin. Yes. Why don't I have any Litecoin? Oh, I have to move it to the smart chain first. Duh, people. I almost forgot that. Okay, so I have my money in here, but I need to send to here, and you'll see when you use this, it'll say that this is a cross transfer to the Binance Smart Chain. Again, since I'm going to my own wallet, I don't need a memo, so I just make sure this is my address. Yes, I know my address. Go ahead and send and send. And now this balance number should change here pretty soon. Here's my my little great ape that I got for free because I have some other token. And then we're going to be getting USDC. It's interesting that I'm having to do all of this again. Now we just have to wait for a moment because sometimes you get that little insufficient liquidity. So I'm going to be getting, not too bad, almost $1,400. How many of you think I should be holding the Litecoin? Can't move the Litecoin over to Matic though, so we need to get something that we can move over. Okay, so now I've got my USDC, and so now we're going to go over. We don't need Pancake Swap anymore, so I'll close that out. Now we got to connect to the Evo Bridge. So you have to connect to this on your Binance account, and then you have to select the token you want to move. Then you have to select the address that you want to send it to. Now, by default, they're going to put in the address of your wallet, because most of us, when you set up your MetaMask on the other chain, you're going to have the same deposit address, and that is true for me as well. So I will be able to go ahead and move this over to my own wallet on the Polygon network. Now, if you haven't actually set your account up yet on the Polygon Matic network, go ahead and watch my last video that shows you how to do that. I have a link to the sites where you can learn how to do it, and I actually show you in an example where you can do it. But as you can see, I've already added it. But I need to stay on the Binance Smart Chain. Hopefully this bridge is working today. It worked last time I used it, but right now we're having a loading error. Let's go ahead and refresh the page and connect again. There we go. Okay, so they do have a commission. Most bridges are going to have a commission, and they do have a minimal amount that you can do. So I'm going to go ahead and put my whole amount here. I'm going to double check here that this is my address. That is my address. I'm going from BSC to Polygon. Let's go ahead and approve this. I know, this is like moving funds around. I got to get a little better at chatting and keeping you guys entertained, right? Nobody else is saying anything in the chat, though. You guys even interested in this Polygon stuff? Oh, oh hey, Mark. How you doing? All right. Now, as you can see, you got to pay just the small little Binance fee. I'll confirm that. And then I'm just going to be waiting for just a moment. I should get a pop-up saying this confirms. And then I should be, so my order status is currently processing. I see that my Binance chain transaction has been confirmed. And my status is completed. Okay, so now I should be done with the bridge. So I'm going to close this bridge out. I'm actually going to close out all of my Binance Smart Chain stuff because we're going to be moving over to the Polygon network. So let's log out here. Let's switch our wallet. So you can see I don't have a lot of Matic. Oh, I don't need to connect to the site, so let me just close that out. Cancel that. But 8 Matic is more than enough to be able to do a lot of transaction. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well, you know. I'm just playing around in the Matic world. I'm going to be showing some people a couple different farms and a couple different ways that you can move money around. And then I'm going to be showing people, you know, the couple that I'm going to be getting into, which is really the ones I'm already in Polydragon today. I don't know if I'm going to put any more money in there. One of the ones that I find kind of interesting is this site called Polygold. Polygold is a very interesting one where instead of doing, let me switch that to dark. This is one of the ones where they're not going to be issuing tokens forever. They have a capped supply. And I'm going to be doing a full video on Polygold in the future so that you'll understand it a little bit better. But I am going to probably be putting just a little bit of money into this farm. Now, they are taking these deposit fees for all of their different farms, and they are going to be using them to pay out to people who go ahead and own their token and stake it into the Polygold pool. And it's basically the idea of kind of what I told you for Cub earlier on. I know not everyone might have been here, but the idea is like we're only going to issue so much of our token. You're going to hold our token, you're going to stake our token, and then you're going to earn fees from our farms for the future for anybody that wants to get into them. So it's an interesting, different idea. Oh, okay, so you're actually using the Evo Bridge, the Evo one on the network, huh? Oh, Anonymous put out a message to Elon Musk. Are they going to go after him? That would be kind of interesting if the Anonymous hacker group is going to go after Elon for everything that he's been doing. Let me bring Evo back up, Evo DeFi. How do their farms look? How do I make sure I'm on Polygon on this site? Let's dark mode. Well, let me just connect. See, no, I don't want to switch network. Do they have a different site? Ah, Evomatic. Let me click here. Let me connect again. Why does it want me to switch networks? Let me do a refresh. Any idea on why it's trying to tell me to switch networks when I try to connect? Object. Huh. Oh, well, what's going on here? Cancel. There we go. Gosh, it's slow. Yes, connect. All right, here we go. I'm guessing it would take me a little bit more time to understand this, huh? So what do you have here? 500%. They have a stable pool at 100%. That's not bad. Another stable pool at 76%. All right, that's kind of interesting. I have to admit, this is definitely interesting because anytime you see stable pools with a really good percentage in the farms, that's pretty cool. It looks like you earn this gen token. They actually have a bridge working from BSC, so that's kind of nice because the token moves back and forth. I'll have to look into this one a little bit more, Mark. Thanks for letting me, know that this is someone that is. I'm guessing this arena is this. I've seen some sites that are doing this. And let me move this to dark mode. This is the idea where they have these eggs you can buy and these monsters you can level up, right? I think I looked at this site once before because somebody told me about it. And the reason I didn't really get into it was because even though they had this cool egg game, when I actually looked up the token, it wasn't doing well. It was still just constantly going down in price. Do they have... They don't have a link to their farms, to their charts, huh? So I'd have to figure that out on the side. So yeah, I'll look into it though, Mark. If you like this project, it'd be interesting to share with people. Because kind of the idea, guys, is you can farm the token, the gen token, and then you can go ahead and either get into the pools where they do have their single staking pools, or you can get into these NFTs. So see, they issue these NFTs, and from what I understand, you basically have to buy the where's the eggs? That's the NFTs. You can buy either loot boxes or eggs. Where the hell did they go? Here. So see, you can buy these eggs, and then you can hatch these eggs into monsters. I guess the NFT market is something completely different. Oh. Okay, I don't want to try to get into this, guys, right now because I'm not going to understand it all live, and I need to get around to wrapping this up. But I do want to show you the Iron Finance site. So Iron Finance is a site that came over from... Ooh, they're going on to Phantom as well. Well, that's nice. It's nice to see a team that's going on to so many different bridges, especially if they're going to keep that same token and move it across each different bridge. I just wonder if there's some worry then that their APRs are going to get kind of low because they're trying to do farms on like 3-4 different networks. So Iron Finance is a site that was over on the Binance Smart Chain. They did have a hack in their past, but the idea behind this one is that they are a stable coin producer with a coin that you have to hold to be able to go ahead and mint their token. So normally to mint this Iron token, which is their version of a stable coin, so think of them as working a little bit like Venus with Vi, or working like the DAI project over on Ethereum, where they have you can go ahead and buy the Titan token, and then you can use the Titan token to go ahead, and the way you can use Ethereum to mint DAI, or you can use BNB to mint Vi or any other asset really, but mainly BNB to mint Vi. You can use Titan to mint Iron, and Iron is always pegged to $1. And because Iron is always pegged to $1, they have some very, very interesting pools here where you can go into the Iron USDC pool that's being hosted on QuickSwap, and you'll get 231% APR. Now, there's two ways you can go about getting the Iron token. You can just go ahead and swap your stable coins, which is what I'm going to be doing, to get the Iron token, or you can go ahead and just buy the Titan token and then come here, deposit your Titan token into their site, and then mint the actual Iron tokens out. Now, the only reason you'd want to maybe do that is if you're a believer in the fact that their Titan token, which is their governance token, will go up in value. Now, I'm going to be spending some more time learning about the Iron Finance program to see if I want to hold the Titan token. But for now, you can see that this project is also kind of a younger project, but it has the ability for you to go ahead and earn upwards of 200% by staking your liquidity tokens that are being staked on a pretty reputable site, because they're asking basically for you to put them into the Iron USDC pool on QuickSwap or on SushiSwap, which are some of the bigger players. And so they are being moving in the right way. So what do you guys think? Is it pretty, tempting to get into the idea that you can get into a stable peg to stable coin and be earning 200%? Because that's pretty good on an APR. And if you are compounding it pretty well, you can earn upwards of 800%. Now, almost no person can compound the way that a Bunny or AutoShark can compound, because they have programmed it to compound every 2 hours. That doesn't make sense unless you have quite a bit of money, even though on Matic fees are so low, you don't need very much. But still, we have to sleep. We're not going to be able to claim every 2 hours. So on your own, you're not going to get this 892%. I will share one other site with you, and this is the Adamant site. So the Adamant site, they are a clone of Bunny. So the one worry with the Adamant site that you have to worry about is, can they get flash loan attacked the way that Bunny did? Flash loans do exist on Ethereum, so they do exist on Matic, and so has Addy been able to protect themselves? This is one of the things I'm going to be finding out before I do a full video about them, because they are the AMM pool. So as you can see, they are working with a lot of ones. They do have the Iron USDC, where they say they will go ahead and do the auto compounding for you. This is if you do it on Sushi, and this is if you do it on QuickSwap. Both of the APYs are pretty competitive, and the reason why these are so high is because you are earning the Addy token. So you earn their token, which is currently at $33, and they go ahead and do the auto compounding of your tokens for you. Now, the one reason why this site might be safe to use is because they do have already $10 million or $100 million locked on the site, so that's quite a bit of money. If they were going to rug pull, do you think they would have rug pulled by now? And the other reason why it's kind of an interesting idea to use these sites is because even when they've been flash loan attacked, the actual staking vaults have not been compromised on AutoShark or on Pancake Bunny, but they were able to mint the token and sell it to nothing. So the one thing that you might not want to do is hold too many Addy tokens. That's something you'll have to decide on your own. If I put my money into here, I'll probably just be selling the Addy tokens to add on to my rewards to allow me to get some extra funds to put into some other things. Addy staking, though, is paying out at 900%. So it's an interesting thing. The idea behind Bunny has already proved to be amazing. And so if Adamant can get that working on the Matic network, this is a token that we could see, just like Pancake Bunny, run from $6 to almost $600. This one's currently at $33, and could it run up there to $200, $300, or $400? Well, if it does, it's going to have to be able to deal with a flash loan attack. So one of the things I'm going to be trying to do is talk to the team and see if I can tell you guys that they have protected themselves against the flash loan attack. But it's definitely a site worth checking out. Now, one of the last couple ones I wanted to share with you on the Polygon network, and then I'm going to be getting out of here because this stream is already over an hour, is that Aave is on the Polygon network. And the reason why this might be interesting for you is if you wanted to do some leveraged farming. So some of the things I could do with my USDC, though it's not super great, is I could, or if you're a fan of Matic, you could be coming over here and you could be depositing your tokens, say your Matic or your ETH, and earning a little bit of money on them, and then you could borrow out one of these stable coins to go put into a stablecoin farm. This is a way to do a compounding of your coins if you are somebody that wants to get into those, and if you're somebody who thinks that these tokens over here are going to go up in value. So you can do Bitcoin, Ethereum, or Matic. Now you do have to make sure that when you borrow it out, you do a very safe amount, otherwise you can risk your coins getting liquidated. And you can, even if you take 50%, you'd have to imagine you'd be at a risk of your coins being liquidated on a 50% drop in any of these tokens, and we've seen 50% drops in the last few months. So you would definitely want to be careful if you decide to use the Aave site, but I did want to let people know that it is here, and so you can use it to go ahead and do the deposits like you do on Venus on BSC, and then do the borrowing so that you can go ahead and get some funds to then invest into those farms that I showed you before. One of the other ones that I wanted to do an honorable mention, we already had brought up over by Mark, but this is PolyCatFi. So PolyCatFi is a similar one to Dragon Finance in the fact that it wants to grow. One of the things that's different about this one, besides the fact that they're trying to become kind of like the Pancake Swap of, there's a couple different sites trying to become the Pancake Swap of Polygon. And so they have a referral system, which is kind of interesting. They have a link to their charts. They have some audits that they say that they've already gone through, which is pretty exciting. They already have their vaults live. So whereas I showed you Dragonfly is a young project who's trying to get these get to the level of having vaults and doing IFOs and doing vaults and have their farms and their pools and all of those things, but they're doing it with a Reflect token. I would argue that Polycat is a little bit further ahead. Now, I know less about this product because I just found out about it, but for my live stream, I'm just kind of showing you guys a couple different things. Now, one of the other ones to know is that you can use Curve on Polygon. So the real value of using Curve is if you are somebody who has a lot of funds on Aave and you borrow out some tokens, you can borrow whichever one has the best rate as far as you either getting paid to borrow or paying the least to borrow. And then you can use Curve to go ahead and swap them from one token to another, because they do the swapping where they don't make you pay the 1% fees. They're much smaller. So this is a way that you can get your USDC swapped over to DAI, or your USD swapped over to USDT, or vice versa. So this is one of the ways that you can do that and be able to not lose as much money. So make sure that you check this out if you're somebody that has a lot of USDC and you're trying to get into a USDT pool. Then you don't want to go ahead and sell your USDC for USDT, because you're going to end up having a lot of slippage in that. You can come here and swap it out and you won't have as much slippage. Then obviously this is Paraswap. So this is one of the different swap sites that you can use on the Polygon chain. This is just kind of a quick mention, because the one I'm going to be using, as you see here, I'm going to be trying to get my USDC and Iron to put into that pool, and I have to trade it because I can't use Polygon to go ahead and get into that one. But this is where I'm going to end it today, guys. Anybody have any last minute questions before I get out of here? You can let me know now. Any coins you want me to look at, I'll take a quick look at them. It looks like I only really have one viewer left. So if you're in there and you want me to look at anything, let me know. If not, I'm going to get out of here, guys. For sure, it looks like this weekend wasn't the best weekend to do a live stream because there were just not that many people that came in. But that's okay. It was still nice to, talk and show these things. And maybe some people will enjoy this later on. All right, guys. I know